I try to shoot this in English in hope to get more than 10 views. I assume, it's my belief, I cannot explain it, but I think that time is being corrupted, and that everything which is happening uh, is sort of a safeguard to keep the memory not to overheat, to overload, and keep this map and this so-called matrix in existence without having too much glitches. In my opinion, every earthquake, every disaster, every situation which does attract a lot of momental interest, attention. It's like a capacitor. Doesn't keep charge forever. You have to refresh it to keep the data alive. So that could be one way to erase, let's say, memory. Literally. But what I wanted to tell here is a few things, because I had been through those alternate so-called realities, which I now don't think are new spaces. I just think they're new timelines. Not new timelines, just intercepted timelines. And how does it work? It doesn't work through frequency. We respond, and we mostly use our visual feedback based on our eyes. All other senses are so much benched, because nobody uses them. Besides, artists and something. You know what I mean? Nobody uses. In Japan, I don't know what's the discipline of massaging, jitsu or something like that. I forgot it, but it was supposed, if you were not blind, you weren't even taken into consideration to become a massagist, because you have eyes, and that's disruption for somebody. It's because you develop those senses really deeply, and that's something which a system, a bot, which is operating within a system of rules, is unable to improvise or to make something out of the rules. For instance, if you play chess against a machine, if the machine puts you in a position where you are attacked, and it doesn't have a rule for the board, if you roll the board, suddenly you're on the move, he gets fucked, because his attack becomes his own goal, and you have your own position, because nobody took into account that the board could be turned. And that's what I'm talking about, improvisation and basing on rules within this matrix. If you apply to those rules, strictly to those rules, you're just within this system. You're not even a threat to no one. You just do exactly what the timeline and those things want you to do in that point of time. So after I went from Ibiza to Switzerland, where I had some really, really minor problems, but I wasn't written there in terms of code. When I went to Switzerland, so much synchronicity happened that I don't think it's by instance. Maybe it is, you will never know. Is this everything just a digital projection of your inner thinking or not? But so interestingly, I had this fucked up relationships with the pharmaceuticals and with the telecommunications and with Windows and other operating systems, blah blah blah, Google, Android, and when I came to Switzerland, I couldn't find a job. Suddenly there turned out some people who were offering me. It was so interestingly, because when you go to a bar and play darts, and you meet someone who is in charge of all pharmaceutical projects and the clinical trials and everything related to that, and I was stupid enough to trust these people, and I gave away one number which I shouldn't have given away, because it's a contact from Croatia. It's an old lady, I had brief communication with her. She was responsible to bringing a lot of Yugoslavenians during the war to Switzerland to work as doctors because she spent most her uh, summertime as a kid in Opatia. But it's another thing, Sorry, Elke. I don't think you will have any problems with this because you have broadened to Switzerland, but you're in the German region, so you're safe, and you're well much older than them, so you won't be any target. The other thing was, which I had a phone call from a company from UK, which had asked me to talk about my experiences from earlier, with this clinical trials and emergency authorization side effects, blah blah blah. I had to ask them, sorry, is this phone call being recorded? They didn't tell me because they were asking really subjective questions. It's like Trump said, if you take a testimony, they will trial you for perjury. You just can't make it because if you use human language, they will find some sort of combination where they can put it into uh, terms of incriminating justice. It's just fucked up system with those pivots, with those pawns, disposable. So the first job I got offered was something with electronics, where I was left in the shop alone with a camera, which had been closed for 3 days. The exactly time when I was there, the shop didn't even, the things which I was cataloging had nothing to do with the shop. It was like all import from China, and it was like body car parts, So I won't mention any names from it. I'm really thankful for the opportunity, but I got really like a strong signal alarm. Okay, you have to get out. This could be a setup, and they weren't talking my language. They weren't talking German language. They were talking their own language, which I don't understand because it's like talking Iranian or I don't know Chinese, and they were whispering whilst I was in the car and we were alone. Why do you whisper in your language which nobody understands? Blah blah blah. I came to Croatia. My ex-colleague called me. Hey, I have a job offer for you. Blah blah blah. Great. I don't have a job. I need a job. I connected all my systems to those shitty company. They attacked all my systems. They're still inside. They're all in my Android systems. They're in my phones. They generated thousands of controls, activity controls, remote desk, anything you can imagine. They have my fingerprint. They can. I had a situation when my phone provider didn't believe me, even if when I was with a camera, that I was myself because they had more information about me than I did. They were more able to claim identity than I was. The other thing which happened at the same time, my friend who is awaiting some charges, let's say, out of sudden, I mean, I appreciate it because I cannot say it's, I think it's really matter of time offset, and it's just like really close by realities, like within seconds or within a split second. Like with President Trump, I don't think the shooter missed. I just think the map glitched, like the deja vu cat in the Matrix. I watched the Matrix yesterday again. It's really nice movie, especially now because there. I remember Morpheus telling Neo and AI. You mean artificial intelligence? Because 1999, it's 25 years ago. Who knew about this? They knew, but they didn't explore parenthood. Where are Neo's parents? Why doesn't he miss his mother, brother, father, etc.? It's also really easy to delete and to make alternate roads for your destiny, and everything else. But uh, yeah, this guy, he offered me so good relaxation uh, supplements for really affordable, blah blah blah. The funny point was, at one point he asked me about, hey, well, will we go to your house? I don't go to my house ever if it's not if the courts are not working. So I go strictly Saturday or Sunday, or if when I have to, I could go with a witness on Friday after 4 p.m. when the courts close, but they still have this prolonged till midnight. So okay, they can keep it till Monday. Till Monday, it's 2 days. They can make a mess of her life within those 2 days. So he wanted to me go to the house. Why would you do that? No, I'm not going there. The second thing is like, come on, nobody's hacking you. What are you thinking? Okay, I never claimed that I'm a big target, but I think I know what I'm talking about because it's like 5+ years or more, and I'm not a fool. Then he wanted to offer me some, let's do some gardening business. And he's awaiting trial. I told him, that's for patient people. Gardening is for patient people. I'm not patient. Plants don't like rough energy, like spike energy like mine. They don't like it. So I want revolve. I don't care, This other thing was, I always put my plane in airplane mode, or SIM. I remove the SIM card as well, or I go without a phone, arrange it up front. And suddenly, hey, does anybody have from the family, because it's for like familiarization with like barbecuing and I don't know what, to make you feel more comfortable. I think it's not on purpose, but suddenly, you're like in a 5-family house in the middle of the city. Nobody has a router. Hey, does anybody have 5G? I have, if you want to connect to a bank account or something like that. But if you want to watch pixels on YouTube, I don't have it for you. And by the way, they know I'm offline. That's just offline. I mean, my device, they could emulate it, no problems. You don't need the electricity, just like need ether, ionized air, ionosphere. It's really like shouldn't be too complicated for somebody who understands this military technologies. What was this? Blah, 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 blah. Yeah, the spoon bending in Matrix. What is it say? You not bend with the spoon. You just see the reality. There is no spoon. That's what you can make if you bend rules. If you turn the board. That's what I do. That's why I have so much problems. And I wouldn't mind it if they were capable and competent, but they're really like devolized. It's I don't know. They're too so incompetent, so stupid, so stupid logic. It's like it's under my dignity to even accept them as a challenge. I believe they're like really dumb idiots, like Pontius Pilate and those Romans, the exact same idiots. We're all those idiots, and as they say in the Matrix, as long as they are in the system, they are your enemy. I'm your enemy, you're mine enemy, because we're here. But Dr. Feelgood and Kennedy, they didn't use those things because to be sharp. No, those things alter your frequencies. And you can, I believe, with Dr. Feelgood medicaments, be able to spot things within the offset of this double spatial realities, like with the shooting with Trump. If they had Secret Service with, even though they didn't prevent Kennedy's death, shooting, I don't know what the one was, what Oswald, the other was important because he was sent as a communist to Russia, and they have to obey by the order. They don't, military and police and officials, government officials, they're not allowed to ask why. They said, you're moving tomorrow, we're moving you to Hawaii. You are not even allowed to ask when. You have to say okay. They will brief you. That's the same how they did it with this guy. And the New Zealand newspapers article had the shooting 12 hours before the shooting. It was printed and it was in the newspapers. Not in the news, in the newspapers. It was printed on paper with ink. That's those offsets. Look at the grid. Look at the UTC grid where it goes. Why isn't it always the same? Yeah, because those people don't have any near relations to any other country. That's why St. Helena is in this time zone and this is in this time zone. Come on, man. Come on, man. And the map and everything. Come on. Calculate all watches, all phones which were at the rally in Pennsylvania. No, in Butler. Yeah, but because they have autosync. Somebody have automatic time zones. You have GPRS. You have GPS. You have satellites. You have nearby connections and auto synchronization. So you could really tell from those people who were around what's their time on their clock. It should be the same. There shouldn't be any microsecond offset between those. But if there is an offset in 1 second, which I already explained doesn't exist in the universe, it's just a tact. If you have a circle, if you say this circle is 360, if you divide it by 6 you get 60. But if you say this circle is 500 and you divide it by 10 you get 50. So what's the time? There is no time. There's just the offset. And the shooter didn't miss. Deja vu. What did you see? No, I just saw a cat and then I saw another cat just similar to that. Was it the same cat? Yeah. Okay, shift. AWOC.